What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt Taville with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Chris Eubank Jr., Conor Benn. Get this. According to Chris Eubank Jr., in response to fighting Conor Benn again, he said, yeah, we could fight, but Conor Benn has to clear his name with UCAD and the BBB of C. He said he has to get his license here in the UK. That's where the fight should be. That's where it makes the most sense. It has to make sense if the fight is going to happen. And let me counterpunch. Chris Eubank Jr. is pragmatic about this whole thing. You know, it's like, hey, this is what needs to be done if you want me to fight Conor Benn. You know, and I'm not going anywhere else. I'm not going out of my comfort zone, or I'm not going to another territory just because Conor Benn can't get licensed here. The fight is best here. It's a local fight. It's a historic local fight on a continuation of a family saga, and I'm not budging. You know, Conor Benn has to get his stuff in line. And if he wants to fight me, if he wants me to be a part of anything that he's a part of. And it makes sense, man. It's just, this is a no-brainer. Chris Eubank Jr. is convinced that Conor Benn is or was cheating. And looking at everything we know, it's hard for Conor Benn to say that he wasn't. You know, even if he didn't intentionally cheat, he was doing whatever he was doing 2 times back to back, which is kind of unexplainable, to be honest with you, because if you got caught with whatever's in your system, then you got caught again with that same thing in your system. You know, you were doing the same stuff, whatever it was. But whatever the case may be has to come down to Conor Benn clearing his name, getting his license before he can move on to fight anyone like Chris Eubank Jr. And I think that's a great idea. Why? Because if Conor Benn goes in there and beats Chris Eubank, let's say Chris Eubank decides to fight Conor Benn and loses to Conor Benn, well, that's still circulating around the victory. You know, Team Eubank could always say, well, you know, he won because we all knew that he had something in his system, and he had it in his system for a very long time. And what he had in his system for a very long time is what gave him an edge against fighting and beating me. So I think Chris Eubank is doing the right thing here. And it just stops all the other outside possible speculating BS that is surrounded by these guys. Because Conor Benn did put himself in a bad situation. However he did it, whatever he took, however it got in his system, it was all up to him. You know what I mean? Unless Bernard Hopkins came and rubbed it on his lower back or something like that, which Bernard was nowhere around. So Chris Eubank, he's open to the idea. But yeah, get your credentials together. You know, now the thing is, how hard would that to be? I think it would be pretty hard, since UCAD has decided 6 months later to slap that on him. You know, now like any license could be got by Conor Benn is pretty hard to happen. But we will see what happens. That's the statement that Chris Eubank Jr. made. You guys tell me about his statement. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!